Now I have some awesome news. Our software for recording motion, it's back up. Now the bad news is it actually doesn't get back up till close to the end of this episode. But we still do some pretty awesome things, and I'm really excited because this episode is all about our future. I really hope you all enjoy. I had a blast doing this one, and to me at least, this one is really special. And yeah, hope you enjoy. Well, welcome back, peoples. We're sitting here in our newly decorated house on top of our castle. Yeah, almost 2,000 days in, and we finally got our starter house, I said sarcastically. Anyways, we're sitting here with Alpha Squadron because, well, I heard that they have some news for me. So, hey, yo, Halligan, what's up, bro? What's this meeting about? Nah, I don't care about the bone you buried, dude. You've been talking about that bone for like 2 weeks. I'm sure it's a shiny bone, dude. You need to find something else to fixate on. You know what? You're in timeout. Just hush it. Trips. Dude, what's going on with Halligan, man? He keeps talking about this bone. I know, dude. Like, I kind of think it might be like a Canadian girlfriend type of situation. I'm not even so sure it exists. Anyways. Sparrow? The homing pigeons? Oh, okay. What's up, Sparrow? Drips over there said you had some information for me? Are you kidding? New empires? Now, Sparrow and his homing parrots had some information for us. They say they've been spotting kingdoms sprouting up all over our world. They said they even saw one in the sea. They saw one that looked like a orc encampment. They saw one that almost looked like an elven city. Yeah, so I don't really know, but we better get our defenses up and get our city done. And that is my fun little way of saying it is time to finish up our capital and move on to other areas of the world. Now, this is always going to be home base. We're not moving our storage or anything like that, and this is always going to be a part of our world. We're probably going to see this place every episode, at least a little bit. But I've always been a fan of RPGs, big time. Love them, especially story-driven ones. Big D&D guy. Never really got into the pen and paper just because I never really had the people to play with. But video game-wise, I'm an RPG dude, for sure. Which is why I love Minecraft. It's almost like a sandbox RPG, as long as you have a little bit of imagination. But anyways, we have some things we need to do. We want to get this moat finished. We want to finish our city around our capital. And we need to go on a couple dangerous adventures. Now, your dude, he makes mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. And we update to 1.21 here in just a minute or so. And I didn't think about something. I need to get a ravager in the hostile mob habitat. Now, they changed the way you get bad omen. You have to do it through the trials now. So I don't know how I'm going to do that because, well, I have explored a big portion of my world, which means these trials probably are not going to generate unless I go really, really, really far away. So yeah, we might have to get some other hostile mobs first, but I gotta figure that out. Now, luckily, I have tons and tons of totem from the raid farm we built, so I'm good there. I shouldn't die. And if I do, it is what it is. If I die having an entire chest worth of totems, then I kind of deserve it. But yeah, so we start working on the walls of our moat thing, and we decide we don't really want to do the walls too much on the side that's not our city. But we are going to fully do the walls that are around our city, as well as we're putting a little bit of dripstone in the ocean, a little spikiness, and we really just want some tuff on the top and some moss on the bottom. We didn't really want to go too crazy with the color palette, because sometimes less is more, and that's something I overdo sometimes. I'm fully willing to admit whenever I make a mistake or overdo something, and in some builds I do go overboard with the variation of the color palette, but it's part of my style, and I'm going to do what I do because it's Minecraft, and I'm going to do it. Yeah, logic and things. I got to figure out the design for this bridge, but do you guys want to see the most pro elytra flying you've ever seen? Like, I'm a master. Oh, yeah. Like this is just amazing. Don't pay attention to that or that or that. Nope. Perfect. Absolutely flawless. We are officially in 1.21, which means a whole lot new copper stuff and a whole lot new tough stuff. And I just got really tired of placing my copper all over my world. I needed a facility, so I dug out this little cave here, and we're going to make a cool little entrance for it and stuff. And this is going to be where we age all our copper. Wherever the spruce blocks are, that's where copper's going to go, perfectly spaced. And we're going to fill the rest in with wood because, well, I just want to be able to run through here and pickaxe it without having to worry about breaking my floor or my walls. And now I didn't think about something. As I got into 1.21, I didn't realize that you have to age the trapdoors by themselves. You can't turn the blocks into the trapdoors. So we're probably going to dig this thing up 3 more blocks or 3 more blocks down. Either way. That way we can age the copper on the bottom and the copper trapdoors on the top, because these new blocks are absolutely amazing. Probably the best blocks I've had from an update in a long, long time. They're awesome. All right, and now our little aging facility is complete. I didn't show me building the rest of it because of one of two things. Either it was too boring to show, or I was stupid and didn't press record. Yeah, I literally got to that wall, which is the last thing I did, and was like, are you freaking kidding me? But it wasn't all that impressive anyways. But we can do 2 full stacks of blocks at the same time. We could do 2 stacks of the regular blocks, so 1 stack on the roof, 1 stack on the bottom. We could do all trapdoors, and it's going to work. So yeah, it's not pretty. It's actually pretty ugly, but it is functional. This is just a behind-the-scenes resource, really. I'm not going to be showing this, but I just wanted to show you guys that I have it. And yeah, it's going to come in clutch because, oh my gosh, the new copper blocks are fire. So before we get to our massive expansion on the city around the castle, I want to go test something. Yeah. Okay, so it appears we do not have to go into the new trial dungeon to get the bad omen. I thought that's the only way you could get it now. I actually like this change because it lets you choose when you want to have the bad omen. That's pretty cool. Now it's time to place our first ever new versions of the tough blocks, and every single one of them is awesome. Like, I don't think there's any new version of the block I do not like. But this is going to be our museum. It's going to be where we have the dragon egg. That's going to be the main feature. Probably we're going to put the different pottery sherds. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that just yet. I don't know if I'm just going to display the sherds themselves or put them into pots, because there is a lot of them. As well as the armor trims, but they keep adding more. And I feel like if I want to collect them all, I'm going to have to expand this thing at some point. But for right now, we're just going to do what we have. And we're leaning hard into the grays, the reds, and the greens. I wanted this building to look much, much more newer than the other buildings around. Like, it's a recent addition. But I don't know. I really like the grays. The cyan terracotta, a block I don't use very often, it really, really goes good with the new tough block. Like, it is awesome. And these new copper grates, probably my new favorite block next to the barrel. I've always loved the barrels. But yeah, so we're just whipping up this, and then we get to build a city all the way around this. And we're not sure exactly how we're going to do that just yet, but I think it's going to be like a multi-level, lots of, what do you call it? Retaining walls going to different levels of height around the city. And I think it's going to come out pretty cool. But at the time of recording this voice, I don't know yet, because I haven't done it yet. Sometimes I'll come back and do it after I've done it. I haven't even touched the rest of the city yet. But yeah, this little build here came out really cool. I am just vibing with terracotta right now. It's kind of my jam, and I think I'm gonna use some new blocks that I don't use in any builds really in some of the buildings around this city. Yeah, and they might come out bad, they might come out good, but we're gonna find out. So if it sucks, let me know. So we got our first exhibit in, and well, it had to be the dragon egg because, well, it's the rarest item in the game, so it gets its own little special area. Now, we actually can't finish the rest of this museum right now because we don't have everything to display. Over here, we're going to do a bunch of displays of different, the pottery sherds, except all the way in fully complete pot version, which means I'm going to need a minimum of 5 of every single sherd. That way I can build the pot as well as display the sherd. And over here, we're going to be doing all the armor trims. We're missing the new ones, and we're also missing that scary silence one. I ain't doing that right now, but we will be going to do that, probably in the next couple episodes. But right now, we have cities to build. So for right now, we are just going to use this place as a hub for all our boxes while we build this massive city. Let's go get to it. Sitting at 1970 days, the time has finally come to finish off our city, our capital, our center of life of the kingdom. And oh my gosh, this is going to take a lot of planning. You guys know that I don't plan a whole lot of stuff. This one I had no choice because it was going to be very, very complex. So we are going to throw down a ton of plots and just get ready for I don't know how many buildings, but it's going to be a lot. And it's all going to tie around the museum and the castle itself. I'm not sure if I'm going to have any farms or anything in here. I might do a sniffer farm or a couple little ones just scattered in there. But mostly it's going to be residential and maybe a couple bigger industrial style buildings. But we have a lot of work to do, and I'm going to run out of voice. So, I'm going to rock out and get this done. I'll be back in a minute. I put together 32 shapes. Every one's going to be a building. This is going to drain my sanity for sure. 100%. And on top of that, we also have a bridge I didn't count and some walls to do. I better get to work. Fair warning, there's going to be a lot of building on this episode. So when I started that museum, I had a chest and a half full of tough block. And now I have none. Yeah, it's all gone. So I have to do a few chores. I'm going to have to dig me a bunch of tough block down in our little mines down there. And also we need to go get some mud because I'm going to need some mud brick. Back to choring. The super duperty, really annoying part about Tough Block is it is not renewable. The awesome part about it is with a beacon it does instamine, so it's not too bad to gather a lot. Now, I selectively showed the scenes of me gathering this Tough Block because, well, I am directly under my little makeshift deep dark. And if I go to the wrong area, it explodes eardrums, so I chose selectively. With about 2 shulkers full of Tough Block and our eardrums just a ringing from all the shriekers, we head off for our next task. Now, the only mangrove swamp we have found so far is about 5,500 blocks to the south. And, well, we came here for 2 reasons. Well, we needed a bunch of mud because we're going to be using a lot of mud brick, and I'm out of mud. But also, I brought some obsidian with me because I want to set up a portal here. Because with the new trial ruins, or trial chambers, whatever they're called. You know I'm not English proficient. We have explored about 6,000 blocks, an entire circle around our area. So this gives us an area that this is the farthest we've been, and we can find new chunks. Every portal we activate seems to be a death trap. Our original portal, hanging off the cliff of a basalt delta. Our second one, Soul Sand Valley surrounded by lava. This one here, yeah, is literally going to be engulfed in fire. But at least it's protected till we get back. I mean, I don't know. We can make it work. But we head on home. Now, we do find another bastion, and it looks like it's a pretty promising one, honestly. So we're probably going to be coming back to that, because I think I need pottery sherds for it for the museum. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look into that. But we have a city to build, and we are ready to roll. So, yeah. So strap in, prepare yourself, grab some snacks and popcorn. This is going to be one heck of a time lapse. I don't know the exact amount of time this actually took me to do, but if I add up all the footage I have of recording, it's about 18 hours so far. Yeah, I'm really good with my time. But anyways, so we're just gonna whip up phase 1 of this city. Now, some of these buildings are gonna be more elaborate than others. I tried something new on some of them. I just whipped up random shulker boxes and threw colors in there I thought would work together. And I just plopped them down in front of plots and tried to make them work. And, well, some of them worked out pretty good, and some of them, well, to be honest, were just okay. But all in all, when the project is done, I think it's all really going to tie really, really, really well together. There's going to be some sections that are definitely cooler than others. But that's really with anything in Minecraft, honestly. Especially whenever you're putting in this amount of work. It's just, at some point when you're building for 8 straight hours, your brain just goes on autopilot, and sometimes you forget that just to take a break, step back, and kind of reset your brain. But I really didn't do that. I said, I want this done. And all in all, I don't really regret any of the builds. There's several that I'm really, really proud of. Especially I started using some lime terracotta mixed with green concrete powder and moss blocks. It came out pretty cool. Also, I used a little bit of bamboo. Never used bamboo before, kind of hate the block, but the trapdoors are kind of cool. But anyways, we're going to get through phase 1 of this, and then we're going to go do something a little more fun. I got to go capture a couple dangerous mobs. Because like I said, this is going to be a 2-phaser. I cannot do this all in one go. And then we're going to come back and finish this city. All right, now our city's starting to pop. I'm digging it. We're about, I'm gonna say roughly halfway through, maybe a little less. But that I wanted to get that section done because that's the really cramped section. And also there was a lot of walls involved. Not the walls in the buildings, obviously. I'm talking about the walls in the retaining walls. So that was a little more time consuming. Everything up there and everything down here should be pretty straightforward. But I need a little break, and I want to go capture some mobs that want to kill me. Yep, that sounds fun. First up, we have the Guardians. We want to get two of these dudes. And the other one is going to be the Ravager. He's going to be a little harder. Now, this one should be pretty simple. We're just going to use a water elevator to bring these dudes up and just push them into their new habitat. We're going to use boats to transport them. I played around with this a little bit, and I didn't realize that if you're... It's kind of weird. If you are in the boat with the Guardian, it can't shoot you. But if you're out of the boat and he's in the boat, he can still shoot you. I don't know how that works, but that's how that works. Anyways, we start just laying out some boats just to capture these guys. We really only want two because that's all we really need. We don't even really need two, but we just want to. But we go ahead and get our first little boaty dude captured. And these guys have some really weird interactions in a boat. They just like flopping around. Kind of crazy, actually. We get our first guy in, and we go ahead to get the second one. And we didn't really have too much trouble. I only got hit 1 or 2 times. Nothing really that big. The more annoying thing, which I didn't really show, is building the platform for these guys. I probably should have done it before I captured them, because they kept shooting at me every time that I tried to build so they could go up to their new home. And I ended up naming them Something's Fishy and Grumpy Trout. Yeah, and they just go right in. They were happy. They're happy with their new life. I don't blame them. It's a pretty sweet little place to live. We got our fishy friends in here. And now for the more difficult task. I need to get myself a ravager. Yeah, let's go do that. We head over to our little weird beach village from the beginning of this series, because we needed ourselves a volunteer. Otherwise, this whole raid thing ain't gonna work. Now, I wanted to set this up fairly close to the city, but not to where it would trigger any of the villagers in the city. So we did it next to the steampunk city, because there's no villagers in there. And also, see that creeper right there? I had no idea that dude was hanging out the entire time I was doing this. It could have been bad. We set ourselves up like a little base with some minecarts in front of it, just in case things get a little wild. But don't you worry, everything goes perfectly smooth. Yeah, because that's how Minecraft works. But we start the raid up and we take out the first couple waves. And I make a big dumb mistake. Now, handling these mobs is no problem. I'm not really too worried about dying. I can fly away and they get trapped in there anyways. But here's the thing. I didn't realize that the Ravager would be getting pushed into the stone. And, well, he's just dying. And yeah, I'm shooting him too, but I'm trying to break that guy because I thought maybe the force of the 2 minecarts was pushing him in and causing the damage. No, he just is so big that he just suffocates in the stone. I try to save him, and it does not work. We had some glass in our redstone box, so we went ahead and replaced the stone with glass. That way they cannot suffocate. And, well, things go haywire, because now I'm on the 4th or the 5th wave, which means that I have to deal with Vexes, which means I cannot stay in my little safe spot. So we take to the skies, and we just try to snipe them all off. This does take a minute, but it was actually pretty fun. It wasn't that hard. Once the evoker was gone, things were pretty simple. The biggest thing was getting the rest of these guys out so our Ravager friend can get in one of the minecarts. And we eventually get it. Now we need to end the raid. Now, don't feel bad for this villager, okay? What's really happening here is we're faking his death. See, this dude had like a ton of gambling debt. So he's just going to pretend to die. He's going to move, a couple biomes over. He's going to start a new secret life. Don't worry about him, okay? He's fine. And we end up name tagging our Ravager because we have to. But you can't really see the name. But I named him Dexter for multiple reasons. Because he's a psycho and, another reason that's personal. Now, we got Dexter secured, and we have to get him into his new home. And, this is Minecraft, so nothing could possibly ever go wrong. Everything goes 100% smooth in this game all the time. Now, I will say in hindsight, I probably should have lured this guy over closer to the castle first and then built the track, but I didn't do that, and it is what it is. Alright, so that did not go the way we planned, but let's see if we can't get this guy home. Now, this guy's little journey home goes pretty smooth. There really wasn't any hiccups. Oh, man, I love that city right there. It's just beautiful. You know something's going to go wrong because it's this world and something is going to go wrong. He gets to his habitat just fine. That's not the problem. As soon as he gets in, he tries to die again. Like, what is going on, dude? Like, I guess they're just that big that if they get anywhere near a wall, they die. I don't know. It was a little scary. I did not want to have to do this again. Yeah, but it ended up working out. We got Dexter home. Bro, you seriously did not cooperate. Alright, so we finally got our Ravager friend in there. In hindsight, when the first Ravager was dying to the wall, I could have just flipped the switch and turned off the track. Yeah, I didn't think about that at the time. But yeah, I could have done that. Huh. Oh well, it's done. And, now I have to tear all this down, but I'm not going to show that because that's boring. And after I'm done there, I'll be coming back, and we're going to be super duper speedy mode building the rest of our city. So we can get bigger and better things on the next chapter. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Okay, my peoples, we are in the final stretch. Our city is almost complete. I'd say by the end of this episode, it's going to be about 98% complete, but whatever's not complete, we're not going to dedicate another episode to. Now, we'll just do little things here and there. I might even do some stuff off camera because I have bigger and better things I want to get onto. But the city should look pretty awesome when it's done. And right there, we get our motion software back. Absolutely awesome. I missed it so much. A lot of stress recording the other way, but it is what it is, and I got it done. And we have about 6 ideas of what we want to do next, all involving various kingdoms. Now, this city here is kind of like a melting pot. I just slapped together a bunch of different styles, and it's kind of the way I wanted it to be anyways. Now, our expansion, our new empires that we are going to be building, they are going to stick more to a theme. Like I was saying earlier, I want one to be like an orc or goblin camp, like an Atlantis theme, an elven theme, maybe like a dragon roost, and it just goes on and on. I just don't know which one we're gonna start with, but it's whatever it's gonna be cool. I promise you that. So we are gonna finish this city up real quick, and I'll get back to you in a second. So we are officially over 2,100 days survived in this world. And yeah, I am 100% happy with this outcome. Oh my gosh, it was worth it. Now, I intentionally didn't do that section. As I was building up there, and we had all these smaller buildings down here, I had some ideas for some farms. So that area is going to be reserved for a moss farm, a sniffer farm, and one other big farm. And that will finish off that part of the city. And this thing will be 100% done at that point. However, like I said earlier, I'm just going to do that either off camera or maybe even as an intro to the next episode. I don't know yet, but I am not dedicating a lot of time to it. Our city is done. And the amount of things that we have done in this world is insane. Oh my gosh, I don't even know how many farms we have anymore. We got pretty much every zoo animal we want. We built a castle. We got ourselves tons of villagers. We are incredibly rich. We built a steampunk city. I have no complaints. And now it is time to move on to another project. Because that's always how it's going to be. I truly hope you all enjoyed. I know in the last couple episodes, the footage has been a little different because, well, with Replay Mod being down, I didn't have my normal way I like to do things. But I hope people out there enjoyed it, and have a great day, you awesome people. Peace.